So congratulations, you've built a pretty simple but pretty cool little app using Mendix. There's one more additional edit that we need to add out there to make it even to meet the minimum apps, right? It's not super sophisticated yet. There's probably some other editing that you've thought about it. But one of the things that we talked about when we talked about databases is database design with referential integrity. And if you remember, referential integrity is to make sure that your database holds together, that those foreign keys always point to something that exists. If that gets messed up, your database is messed up and your app is then messed up. Let's go look at some of our orders out here. I'm going to add a new order. I'm going to add another order for myself. I don't know, what am I going to get? I will get the anniversary cake. Okay, and save. All right, so there's my third order. Now let's say I come over here and I'm looking at customers and I see myself out there and we say, oh, maybe I'll check the data. And I'm like, okay, and instead of cancel, I accidentally hit the delete button. And I'm not paying any attention. I confirm. And I've deleted myself. Well, what do you think happened to the orders that I had out there? Let's go and have a look. I go and I look at my orders. Do you see what's happened here? I have my order number 1, and now the customer is missing, right? In my order number 3 that I just added. That's because I deleted that customer. Well, this violates what we call referential integrity in the database. So I had perfectly good edits out here to require a customer, but when I deleted that customer, it just deleted it out here, and now I don't know who this order is for. So this is bad, right? This now makes that row useless to me as Hannah, and it also shows doubt through my database in general, like how could this happen? So I'm going to go show you how to prevent this from happening. I'll show you this happens on products as well, right? What do we have here? Well, let's go delete our princess cake. If I come out to my product list and I edit the princess cake, and I delete it and I'm not paying attention and I say sure. And if I come back out here now to my orders, you can see this order number 1 is in sad shape, right? We know some customer, we don't know who anymore, ordered something on the 14th. They're due to pick it up on the 22nd, and we don't even know what they ordered. So again, we're going to go show you how to prevent this from happening. Cancel this. And we jump back over into Mendix. And where you fix this is on the domain model. It's not maybe the most intuitive things. A lot of times students think it would be part of that delete feature, but it's actually in the domain model. And what the issue is when we set up these relationships, if you remember from when we talked about databases, this will then, the way that these link together is through that foreign keys. And it's one thing I'm kind of a little bit bummed about Mendix. It doesn't show the foreign keys in the ERD, which is fine. Once you get used to working with databases, you just know they're there. But I wish for for students and when you're just learning that it would show the foreign key. Okay, so let me show you how to prevent this from happening. It's this relationship here that in the underlying database adds that customer ID, that primary key out to order. So it's in this relationship that we're going to add this edit for referential integrity. So we're going to click on this edit and we're going to actually double click on it. And we can, guess what? We can configure this relationship. Very cool. Notice here, we can change the multiplicity. We can change it to be 1-to-1. Right now it's 1-to-many. Can change it to a many-to-many. We can put some documentation in here. But this is where we're going to add some edits. Right here, on delete of customer object. Right now it's set up to keep the order object. And indeed it did, right? When I deleted myself as a customer, and then I went over to orders, I could still see my order, that order number 1 out there. I just wasn't a part of it anymore. That's what this is saying. I could delete the order object as well. So I could say, hey, if you delete Tanya, just delete all of her orders. Well, that's probably not what Hannah wants either. And so in discussing this with Hannah, decide on this third option right here, which is basically to say only delete the customer or only allow the delete of the customer object if there's no orders associated with it. So what this will do is this will prevent an employee or prevent Hannah from deleting that customer. I wouldn't be able to delete myself because I have orders out there. And on this one, we really do want a custom error message. And you can put something like, can't delete customer if order exists. You can work with Hannah to get a good user message that she can understand and she thinks her employees would understand. And you can put the remedy in here too. Sometimes with an information system, users get frustrated because, okay, I know I can't do this, but what should I do if I really want to delete that customer? So you can put that remedy as part of the solution. Must delete order first, right? So I could go out and I could delete that order number 1 if it was just a totally bogus order, and then I could delete the customer. Now, let's look at the second half of that relationship. Remember, relationships are bidirectional. So when we go to delete the order, right, if I were to go and delete order number 1, I want to make sure that I keep my customer, right? Just because we deleted an order doesn't mean the customer goes away. That customer might have other orders. They might be coming back to place a second order. Maybe there was just something goofy about that one order that you wanted to delete. So this is how we want to configure our relationships. And that will ensure that we keep referential integrity in our database. We'll say, okay. And you'll notice now, it almost looks highlighted, but it's not actually highlighted. It just shows that there's some customization out there. Let's go do the same thing with order product. Remember when I deleted that princess cake, right? Then I no longer could see what that order number 1, I couldn't see that it was for a princess cake because it got deleted. So here on deleted the product, we want to delete the product object only if it's not associated with an order. So error message here. Can't, I can spell right, can't delete. And in fact, I'll show you a trick right here. I'm going to cancel this real quick. I'm going to come back here. Because we want some consistency, I'm going to just copy that error message. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to configure this to delete product object only if it's not associated with the order. I'm going to paste that in, and then I'll customize it for this relationship. So can't delete product if order exists. Must delete order first. And then we'll say, okay. All right, let's go ahead and test this out. So we will rerun it. I forgot to save, so save and continue. Thank you, Mendix, for reminding me. And we'll view the app. I'm going to come to customer. I'm going to add myself back in. And my phone number. Okay, and we will save. And I'm going to go back to my products. Nope. And I'm going to go to my product list. I'm going to add that princess cake back in. It was $23. It was a vanilla cake with pink frosting, and save. All right, and now let's go to the orders. So I'm going to go to that order number 1. I'm going to view it. I'm going to put myself back in, product. This one was the princess cake, save. Order number 3. If I came here and I try and save, it won't let me, right? Filled as required. Tanya. And save. All right. The world has been restored. So now let's go test it out though, right? Here, I just put my data back in that got wiped out accidentally. Let's come over here and let's see what happens if I try and delete myself now. View edit. If I delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, I'm not really paying any attention. Oh, there's my error. Can't delete customer if order exists. Must delete order first. All right, so that looks good. We'll go ahead and cancel. And if I come out to my products, now it's all the way down at the bottom. I can view edit. I can try and delete it. Are you sure you want to delete this? Okay. Can't delete order or can't delete product if the order exists. Must delete order first. All right. So now we can cancel that. We've enforced referential integrity, and our database is going to be, that's going to help our database sort of hold together. It's going to make sure that those foreign keys always point to something. Okay, so now we've got our additional edits in there. So we've made sure that we've enforced referential integrity, that those foreign keys from the order are always going to point to an existing customer. They're always going to point to an existing product.